Imagine it's the year 2040. You're standing in the middle of a dust bowl. The sun beats down on you. You squint, shielding your eyes as you look up to see a gigantic, eerily quiet wind turbine slowly rotating in the distance. The last drop of water doesn't fall on a farmer's parched land or into a thirsty mouth. It falls on the blades of a giant fan that cools a server farm. That's not a scene from a movie. It could be our future unless we act now. But there isn't a blade in sight. It's all made of metal and glass. It's an AI farm. We'll reveal how the rise of AI threatens to drain our planet's most precious resource, water. Keeping these servers cool is crucial to prevent overheating and potential damage. And here's where water comes in. Semiconductor production alone can use up to 9,000 gallons of water per chip. Considering the vast number of chips needed for AI infrastructure, this adds to the overall water footprint. Large language model 2, also known as LLMs, which includes ChatGPT, requires significant computational power that is enough to supply 1.6 million people for an entire year. One promising approach involves using waste heat from industrial processes that would otherwise be released into the environment. By capturing this waste heat and using it for cooling purposes, data centers can reduce their reliance on traditional cooling methods that consume large amounts of water. Additionally, there's a push to improve the efficiency of AI algorithms and hardware, aiming to reduce the energy intensity of AI operations. The idea is that if AI can be made more efficient, it will consume less energy and consequently less water. The AI process involves far more complex computations, requiring up to 10 times more energy. Can our planet support the immense water demands of a rapidly expanding AI industry? And don't forget to subscribe for more updates on AI and technology. Thank you for watching. Or will the thirst of AI eventually outpace Earth's water reserves? It's a dilemma that we must address if we want to strike a balance between technological progress and the survival of our planet. There is a lack of awareness about the extent of water usage in AI processes and the potential impact on water resources. Google, Microsoft, and Meta have pledged to achieve water-positive goals. By 2030, this means they aim to return more water to the environment than they take out. They're investing in projects to replenish water sources and reduce their overall impact on local water availability. However, some experts remain skeptical. Without transparent reporting and clear targets, it's hard to say whether these goals are achievable. Many organizations and governments are still focusing primarily on energy consumption and carbon emissions as key environmental concerns. Farmers in India are abandoning crops like cotton due to water stress, shifting to more water-efficient options. The true extent of its impact is yet to be fully understood. We need more research, more transparency, and more action. Organizations like UNICEF are calling for AI to focus on essential sectors like education and healthcare. They argue that the current competition among tech giants is not sustainable, and that collaboration is needed to ensure responsible AI development. In California, the agricultural industry has been grappling with severe droughts, forcing many farmers to reduce water usage or even abandon farming altogether. Some estimates predict that by 2027, AI could consume 4 to 6 times more water than Denmark's entire annual usage. That's a staggering amount. With increasing adoption of AI, the pressure on water resources is only expected to grow, making water management a critical concern for data centers worldwide. This means that the AI query generates significantly more heat, leading to higher cooling needs and ultimately higher water consumption. Now imagine the massive amount of water used when you generate an image with tools like DALL-E or Stable Diffusion. Some studies suggest that generating a single image can consume around 1,000 times more energy than a Google search. Video AI models, like those used in editing and streaming platforms, are even more water, and each frame of video requires processing, which multiplies the energy and subsequently the water usage. Microsoft draws 46% of its water from areas prone to drought, while Meta gets 26% of its supply from such regions. These companies are investing in renewable energy, but water remains a challenge. The problem is that they're not being transparent about how much water AI is actually consuming. We know that AI is water intensive, but without clear data, it's hard to tell how much is used for AI versus other operations. This translates to substantial energy usage and heat dissipation. To manage this heat, data centers use cooling systems that often rely on water. Now, there are various methods for cooling data centers, including using air or liquid immersion, but many facilities opt for what's known as evaporative cooling. This method involves passing air through water-soaked pads or sprays, which helps cool the air before circulating it back into the facility. However, this process has a significant drawback. As the water evaporates, it's lost forever. This poses a problem when dealing with water scarcity issues, especially in regions where water is already a precious resource. What makes it worse is that many data centers are located in places like Arizona, Chile, and various parts of Europe where water is scarce. This means that as AI's popularity grows, so does its demand for water. And in regions where water is already a concern, this puts additional stress on the local water supply. After all, it lives in the cloud, doesn't it? But here's where things get murky. Recent studies challenge OpenAI's own claims about ChatGPT's water footprint. So what's the real story behind the thirst of as AI chatbots become smarter and tools like ChatGPT and Google Bard interact more like humans? They're silently consuming enormous amounts of water. But just how much do these bots really use? And why should you care? As the world heats up, water becomes more precious than oil. In this video, we'll dive into the silent crisis that no one is talking about. But that claim was met with raised eyebrows by some researchers who argued that this figure seemed unrealistically low. Fast forward to May 2024, and a new study sheds light on the real water footprint of ChatGPT. The findings are shocking. It takes approximately half a liter of water for every 10 responses, and between 2 and 10 teaspoons for every response. Why such a huge gap between OpenAI's estimate and the reality? Let's dig deeper. On first thought, it might seem like AI is pretty water efficient. In March 2023, OpenAI proudly proclaimed that ChatGPT uses just 1/15 of a teaspoon of water per query. Impressive, right? These language models live in data centers packed with servers that run on electricity. But it's not just about the cooling process. Manufacturing the hardware for AI systems requires massive amounts of water. Now, let's talk about big tech. According to a report by the nonprofit CDP, Google used 37 billion liters of water in 2024. Let's compare a single AI query with a Google search. To make matters worse, as AI's popularity grows, so does its demand for water. There's a race against time to develop sustainable solutions for cooling data centers and powering AI systems. However, despite these efforts, the issue of water consumption in AI is not getting enough attention. So what are the big tech giants doing to address this issue? Well, there's some good news. In the meantime, we're already seeing the effects of water scarcity. We've barely scratched the surface of the water crisis caused by AI. As we move forward, it's crucial to consider the broader implications of AI's growth. What do you think? Can AI quench its thirst without draining our planet's water resources? Share your thoughts in the comments below.